So if you do a Google search, Rhino ISO match, it will take you to this Reflectar Graphics website. And again, it's a lot of these scripts we can get. This was what I'm talking about, Rhino scripting. This is actually a Rhino script. We can download this guy. And we need to extract it. There it is. And then there'll be, we're going to use using 4, although we're in version 5, it'll work. This is basically the VRB file, so this is the script file. This is a little README, so it tells you step by step what we can do. So basically it helps you understand rotation, how it sort of sets up a 30-30. So if you're into sort of isometric, dimetrics, trimetrics, we can do those. So ISO is, equal 30-30, die, 2 different angles. And trimetric is when we're dealing with, I think I'm trying to remember what's the difference between dimetric and trimetric, but you guys can Google that. So this will start to set up, and let's see what we can do with the negative. All right, so this script doesn't have to be anywhere special, but it's not a bad idea to put it somewhere special. I'll just throw it generally in here for right now. And what we'll do is type in load script. We'll go find it. So we'll add. And then once we have it loaded, we're going to pick it and say load. And it's going to run it in here. Okay? So we can do preset. Let's try preset values. Let's just do X. So this is where we have to be clever. Let's do X. Let's do -30. And it won't let us do -30. So let's do 30. We might have to flip this thing upside down, which is fine. 30. Z-axis direction. So let's try negative. Does this do 0? No. Yeah, so that works. So negative on the Z gives us a worm's eye view. You understand worms? You're a worm looking up. So I want to be looking into the shell structure. Does that make sense, guys? So I'm going to do that again. I know that was really fast. But it's a nice little script, right? It's just all it does is take the camera and modify the camera, its angle, the properties of the camera to match isometrics, dimetrics, trimetrics. Rather than you screwing around with the camera for X amount of time, we can really customize it. So, and you can do isometric, and you can do these, but you can't do then like the worm's eye view where we do the negative. Okay? So in this case, we can go to Tools, show you this way, Run Script, Run, and then it's already preloaded, and hit OK. So we're going to do preset values. So if you want to try something little like we can do 45, 15, again negative, and then 0, and then no. And then this is, you can see it's a 45, 15. So it's a dimetric. Does this make sense? All right, so next step. 2 steps we're going to do. After this, we're going to make this 2D. Make 2D. Make 2D is going to take this and make it 2-dimensional. Make it a line drawing. Okay? So I'm going to select this. Dimension, make 2D. We pretty much can leave everything by default. Let's turn on show hidden lines because we do have some intersecting geometry, and we're going to hit OK. So what that does is on the top view, it makes an outline, a profile of your geometry. Okay, that we're gonna use. Okay, so there it is. We're still not done. The next thing I want to do is render this, and this might get a little tricky. To render this, we need to do a couple things. Render options. Now we should have V-Ray on the lab machines. And it'll be like a demo version. I do not. For some reason I don't have it on. I haven't updated it. I'm just going to use the default. And the one thing I'm going to do is turn on skylight. And you guys can use the default. Transparent background. Solid background. Let's just go ahead and make it I think we might be able to just leave it for now. And then let's go ahead and make it a much higher resolution. I won't go too high right now. Let's do a custom. So these are pixels. I hope you guys know what pixels are. But basically, if we print something 8.5 by 11, and we want it minimum 150 pixels per inch, we would take 8.5 times 11. Sorry, 8.5 times 150. So our width would be 1275, and then our height would be 11 times 150, which you guys should be able to do in your math, 1650. So 1125, 1650 is going to be enough resolution. Somewhat, depending on how we're zoomed in on it. And then if we go to render, we'll get a render. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Photoshop. The reason why, I mean, it looks a lot different on probably your screen than on my screen, and look even different when I print it. I'm going to give it a little bit of punchiness. So I'm just going image. We won't do much here. We'll just do a little image brightness contrast. And then I'm going to size it properly. So image size. When it comes out, it just comes out raw pixels. So I don't want to resample it. But if I just go ahead and put 8.5, it should. Oh, it didn't go 8.5. That's weird. Maybe I entered something wrong. Oh, I guess I made 7.5. Okay, that's fine. We'll do. We're anyways going to take away the gray background, so I'm going to select, load. So there should be an alpha. Oh, I guess not. Although I made it transparent, it didn't go transparent. Just going to go ahead and just make sure the pixel size is correct when you guys do it. All right? Where's the... I always hate when they... Alright. So now we're 8.5 by 11. I'm going to punch it up a little bit more. So I'm just doing image adjust, brightness, contrast, and change the size to match the correct size. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So if I image size, we're now 8.5 by 11 at 150 pixels per inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm going to save it as a TIFF. Now, when you guys do it higher res. Do it at 300. Okay? I'm doing it low so we're not, you know. Just do it the way it is. Okay, then we'll go back here. So we have that. So the next thing is now, um, I want to get this outputted. You can see we have our hidden lines. I'm going to make my, sorry, that's way too fast. When you make it 2D, you get this output of visible and hidden and then the line geometries. So this is what type of line type it is. This is how we control line type. I want to make this hidden. So the hidden line becomes hidden. And you can see sometimes, let's try, the LT scale is too small. So we should be able to change that when we go and plot or print this. Before I print this, I want to do something called curve boolean. I'm going to make a new layer. Not in there. I'll pull it out. Not in there. I'm going to call it outline. So you just click on new layer here. Make that current. Make it a different color. And I'm going to use the command curve boolean. That will allow me to pick everything and get a profile almost around the whole thing. So it looks like there's some openness here somewhere, like these two aren't touching. And this happens with Make 2D all the time. So I'm going to extend it. Let's do curve boolean again. Oh, must be the same on the top. But it's better to spend the time here than in Illustrator. Okay, so this gives us a heavy line eventually for the profile. All right. So far, so good. And then I'm going to adjust the print widths. So I'm going to try a little bit heavy. These are in millimeters, so 0.5 millimeter, you can imagine. Just like AutoCAD. My visible lines, and then maybe my hidden lines are slightly thinner. And then we got to make sure the print colors are correct. I want everything black, so this is my print color. Okay, so that's how we control the print. File, print. I'm going to do window. So you can see now, as soon as we changed the window, it changed the sort of scale factor. We're going to switch it though back to letter, and we'll go to portrait. And if we come down here, we have the scale. If we change this, that's the line, that's the overall line. I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's going to affect. We might have to go in and change the values. Well, let's go with this right now. Let's preview this. So we'll hit print. This will make I had PDF selected, so I want to print as a PDF. Let me just throw it in here right now. Shell. This is a good place to preview it and say, oh, this looks pretty good or not good. Should open it. So we can see the line weights. Okay. And if we're not happy with those, we can adjust them. So if I want to make the profile a little heavier, and then maybe the visible lines slightly heavier, we can customize this. We can make it any millimeter size we want. Reprint it. Shell it. So say I'm happy with this. We have that. Now we could come in here and open it, but that's not the way to do it. The right way to compose it is in Illustrator. Pause while we... So here I opened up the PDF, right? So it's line geometry. We can. So what I want to do, a couple things I want to do. I want to make a quick layer. So these are layers. New layer. I'm going to tuck it underneath. I'll turn this off right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and place the TIFF. Place the TIFF. Hold on, let me find the TIFF. So I find the TIFF, and then I hit boom. This thing is 8.5 by 11, so it should fit perfectly. As soon as I turn this on, we should get the line work. The one obvious thing, the stuff will not line up, okay, because we didn't spend the time to do that. But it's really easy to lock the Photoshop layer, which is the lower layer, okay, and then I can come here with the select tool, select everything, and then I'm going to just eyeball scale it. You guys like doing that stuff. Now there is more accurate ways of doing this, but you guys have to get good at it. Okay? And that's it. And then we're going to print this. Okay, so we save this again as a PDF. We can actually print it as a PDF or just save. We can just actually just hit save and it'll save it, shell 01. Alright. And then you're going to come into class with this printed. That's the plan. Okay?